I agree with that. I think the challenge that we had mostly was not having children, you know. I don't think anybody would be happy for that. So I got like 3 miscarriages, and the third one was very bad, which I almost even lose my life. Then we had to decide that it's enough now. We can't continue like this, you know.
That was Mrs. Charity Vaughan, a South African woman recalling the deep pain of multiple miscarriages, the reason she and her husband, a Nigerian, Mr. Rotimi Vaughan, don't have biological children of their own. In this honest, no-holds-barred conversation, the Vaughans open up about how they've learned to navigate through loss and why they chose every single day to look to the brighter side of life. Their story will have you rethinking everything you thought you knew about love, strength, and cross-cultural marriage. Welcome to Beyond the Aiisle, where we share real stories that unite hearts and remind us what love truly means. As you watch, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, share it with someone who needs hope, and join the conversation in the comments below. You can also follow us on all our social media platforms at Beyond the Aiisle. Aiisle with a double I. Mrs. Vaughan, how did you meet your husband? And how long have you been married to him?
I met my husband in 2006 in Johannesburg. I used to work for him in a factory. So, yeah.
How long have you been married to him?
We've been married for like 12 years.
How would you describe the marriage? How has it been so far?
It's been good, I would say. That's why I'm still here. I believe, yes.
Yes. What attracted you to him?
Actually,
what attracted him to you? What attracted him to you in the first place?
Actually, I would say 2 things.
Okay.
Number one, you know, in South Africa, we call it ukshela. Here in Nigeria, we call it toasting.
Oh.
When he toasted me, then he said something like, you know, guys, they normally say, I love you when they, you know. So I was just waiting for somebody, at least one person, that when he's toasting me, he can just say, I like you. So that was number one. So when we, you know, we used to actually kiss inside a lift. So one day, it's like he was getting used to kissing me. I'm like, Aibo, and then how far? So he said, I like you. So I was laughing. That was number one. He said something that I wanted somebody at least to say that. Number two, time. I don't like people wasting my time. So I remember this time, first time, like our first dating, we had an appointment. So I had to take a bus. And I told him where I'm going to drop. Immediately, I was there exactly by 2. When I just got down, he was already there. So that was like, okay.
And Mr. Vaughan, what would you say attracted her to you in the first place?
She's answered the question actually. Like she said, she used to work for me. But prior to that, she was a job seeker. Now, one of the things about South Africa that most people don't understand, because when they talk about apartheid, it's affected them in a lot of ways. The spatial distribution of settlements. So you find out that labor comes from out of town into town to look for work. And she happened to be one of those people that would commute every morning from her side into town to look for work. And as of that time, we had just started a small clothing factory, you know, where we're doing CMT. That's what it's called over there. So she would come every morning, you know, knock on the door and say, I'm looking for work. Unfortunately, we could not absorb more workers. So I had the task to turn down the workers that we can't absorb. So anytime they're by the door, even though they would see by the door that no jobs, they will still knock. And for her, she used to come every morning. And the ritual was I'll meet her by the door before opening. And I'll say, you're here again, no job. But she was persistent. So eventually we had to absorb her. And when we did, it was on a trial basis. She was told, look, you will work, but, and she said she will still take it. So, and there's no way you add value to yourself and not get that value, you know, by adding her to the workforce. Her input, you know, translated to more money. And when we saw that, we said, look, let's start paying. And we started paying her, I think 2 or 3 weeks after she started work. She was very diligent. Then in the cost of running production, you know, you're dealing with human beings. You would see how dedicated they are to their job, and that was an attractive part to it. And I told her that, you know, yeah, I like you, but unfortunately I'm also a boss, so I had to, you know, draw the line somewhere. That's another story. So that was how I met her, and that's what attracted.
Vaughan, what was the deciding moment for you to tell her that you would want her to spend the rest of her life with you? What was that deciding moment?
Yeah, we have a running joke. You know, I don't think we'll ever get over it. It was on my birthday. She claims I didn't propose, you know, but I see it differently, because I can't say I'd made up my mind earlier than that. When we started dating, I had told her that my initial stand was that I was not going to marry a foreigner, you know, that I was going to marry a Nigerian, possibly a Yoruba girl.
As a Yoruba man.
As a Yoruba man. But the beauty about the continent, you know, which you come to appreciate, is that we are all the same. We're so united that, but we just don't know it. Our cultures are interwoven, you know, even the languages. But, you know, until you now meet people from other places, that you begin to now appreciate the similarities, you know. So the deciding moment was on my birthday. I had a discussion with my mom a day or 2 earlier, and we had spoken in that line, you know. But that's I can't say she had an influence, but we had spoken in that direction. And on my birthday, my friends, it was a surprise birthday party they did for me, and everybody was there. We were all dancing, and I just looked around, and there she is, you know. There's a girl. In my younger years, I had a temper, terrible one, and you know, I was just a bit rigid, you know. And this is a girl that's a woman now, that can read my body language, understands me, has kept me, brought some kind of calmness to my volatile being, you know. And I saw that, and I said, no, I think this is it, you know. So I called my friends. There were 4 of them. I called them to the room, and I told them. And then I called her, and I called her into the room. She was there. Then I told my friends, do not look at her as my girlfriend anymore. She's my wife. And that was it. So I just told them, look, don't look at this girl like my girlfriend anymore. She's my wife. And we all laughed. They prayed for her, and that was it. So she claims that I did not propose, but I think that's my own proposal. Yeah. So yeah.
So how were you able to cope with his rigidness, his hot temper? I mean, wasn't that a problem for you?
Yeah, kind of like it was a problem, because for me, I took it like he was rude, you know. You know how Nigerians, how they talk, how they shout, how they do everything, you know. So, in fact, I even used to cry if he says something like bad. I will take it like like it's an insult, you know, and I will start maybe crying like, no, I don't like it, like the way you talk to me, you can't, you know. And I think it was kind of like also affecting him because, you know, I just said something and you are crying. Did I say something wrong, you know? I think that was just a learning curve, you know, knowing maybe a South African, I would say. So
You've been married for 12 years. What would you say has been the secret of staying together for this length of time?
actually, when I'm saying married for 12 years, it's just, you know, that thing of signing papers and doing the wedding. I've known my husband 2006, and that same 2006, we started living together
Oh, okay.
as like a girlfriend and a boyfriend then. So we've been together close to like 19 years.
Oh, really?
Yes. So that 12 years is just to do the right thing, you know, because he proposed immediately, let's say 2006, 2008, then he proposed. So I already knew then from 2008 that this is my husband. So I cannot say I was just acting as a girlfriend, you know.
Do you agree with her, Mr. Vaughan?
At least we have it on record now that she said he proposed. So at least now I'm off the hook.
When I'm saying he did not propose, it's
Okay.
you know, women, we normally expect a ring and somebody kneeling
It
down.
has to be formal.
Exactly, and say, will you marry me? I just feel like he put me in a corner. He is like he told me I am going to marry her. So later on, I was asking him, like, you did not ask me to say yes or no. You just decided. So he said, it's because I did not want you to say no. I was not giving you that chance. So yeah.
Now the backstory to that is while she was still working for me. She was still working for me. Her mother used to come around, you know, to look at how she was she working. In my mind, I didn't know that the mother did not know where she was. So a day came and the mother came to me. She came there, we were entertaining her. I went to her and said, Mommy, your daughter is staying by me. I didn't know that I had put her in trouble because she didn't tell the mother. And from where we come from, you know, you take that kind of responsibility, you know, because should anything happen to her in the course of the time, you'll be able to be exactly. So somehow it was an indication that I was not taking it lightly. But I didn't know how she took it. But since then, you know, I didn't know that she didn't take it. I had taken it seriously, you know, since then. So yeah.
Yeah, it's not like I did not take him serious or anything. In my culture, you cannot just go and live with a man without marriage.
So why did you do it? Why were you living with him?
Circumstances, actually, it's not like I planned to. I was, like you said, I was living very far. Smoking side, and then he was
exactly
living in Joburg.
that.
So we had to.
What would you say has been the greatest challenge you ever faced? How were you both able to overcome the challenge?
To be honest, I don't know what to even say. Every marriage has challenges, of course. I agree with that. I think the challenge that we had mostly was not having children, you know. I don't think anybody would be happy for that. So I got like 3 miscarriages, and the third one was very bad, which I almost even lose my life. Then we had to decide that it's enough now. We can't continue like this, you know. What I like about the whole thing is my husband was there for me, you know. Anything, if we go to hospital, you know, meeting a doctor, you know, he actually even made that decision that, okay, I would rather have my wife than for her to go through this process, you know, because it was becoming toxic. So we just stopped and, you know, continued. It's a pity because, you know, people will not understand when they will just see you guys together. They don't know the real story, you know. They will just be looking at you like, oh, you guys don't have children, why? You know, do you really need to be telling each and every person like your story that no, we don't have children because I think it was a challenge, especially here in Nigeria, whereby even the person that knows that you don't have children will still ask you, where are the children? Or like, seeing some messages in my husband's phone, like, you guys should go to this church. Maybe that pastor will help you. It's hurtful. But at the end of the day, God is God and God has a plan, so we are okay. We have two beautiful boys. They are 6 years now. So yeah, we're good to go.
As a typical Yoruba man, were you under pressure to take a second wife or to have a baby outside of your marriage?
Now, the pressure would always be there. You impose some, society imposes some on you. In discussions, friendships, and all that, you are the ultimate decider of what you want to do. So yeah, there was pressure, but life is about making difficult choices. So you have to keep making those choices. Keep living.
Did it in any way cause some sort of conflict between you and your family?
No.
So your family
Now,
understood.
here's the thing. Even if it causes conflict, you have to still move on. You can't. When you have conflicting ideas, you must remember you are not alone. You are not your own person. You may say you're your person. You belong to some people. There are traditions to be upheld. And you just have to find your way in balancing life. Yeah. So yeah, pushbacks. You negotiate it. And you move on. Yeah.
Okay, Mrs. Vaughan. At the time you were dating him, he did say that he told you that he wasn't going to get married to a foreigner, right?
Yes.
And it wasn't a problem to you. You didn't mind. You continued with the relationship.
To be honest, I think as he was having his own pride, I was also having my own pride, because I remember there was a time I'm not going to marry a South African, and I would be like, I'm not going to marry a Nigerian. I was also very strong. But when I think about it, then I used to be like, okay, he's a Nigerian, obviously. He's even straightforward. He's telling me he's not going to marry me. Okay. I just gave myself like 10 years of just being with him. Okay, of let's say 10 years of happiness. If he goes, I will start all over again. How? I don't know. I just had that. Okay. Well, the only hope was at least he's not married. So there's still a hope. When somebody is not married at all, it's another story. And he had a girlfriend, of course, in Yoruba. When the people are always talking on the phone, speaking a language that you don't even understand, you just be like, okay.
And you weren't jealous?
Of course, I would be jealous, but I will not show it. Like I'm saying, I had my own pride. The thing is, he had these pictures, I remember, on his wardrobe for that lady. So anytime he goes out, I'll just go to the picture and be looking.
When were you looking?
One day, no, like, okay, one day I know he was going to remove this picture. And he did. I did not see the picture again. So, it's just, I think relationship is just hoping, You just hope that, okay, maybe by this time,
Okay, you are South African, he's Nigerian. Would you advise any of your relations or friends to marry a Nigerian?
Yes, but you also need to be very strong to get married to a Nigerian, honestly.
Strong-willed.
Yes, you need to also know what you want, because they can also push you to, to a level that you be like, no, I can't, you can't just be in Nigeria and be a weak person, The ladies also, they will still push you somehow, like how far, how did she, so yes.
Is that the same for you? Would you advise any of your relations to marry a South African?
Yes, but now not only South African, I would encourage cross-cultural marriages on the basis of, there's a baseline, which is some of our characteristics. If you're honest, you're honest. if you're a person of integrity, you are, there are the basics, respectful, those are things that either you're a Yoruba man or you're a TV or you are a Wari or you are from Sudan. They are basic. So based on that, then you now crown that with love, then they can live together. It's only just better because when now talk of customs and traditions, you don't have to teach that if you marry into your own, ethnicity. Aside that, two people can always,
South Africans have a preconceived notion on Nigerians. So how were you able to convince your family members to accept Mr. Vaughan as your husband?
You,
Or the man you're going to marry?
I did not convince anybody, to be honest. I already made up my mind that this is where I'm going. Like I said, when a girl of 26, 27, when you are in love, it's like you've put your head already. No turning back. So I actually called my mom, I think, because I actually kept it a secret for like a year, even to like my sister, close sister, that I'm going out with a Nigerian, because I already know what they were going to say. Hey, Nigerian, these people. So like after a year, I noticed that it's getting too much. The phone calls, speaking English over the phone. My sister, I would normally go outside every time he calls, But when they started knowing him, my husband is very friendly. They just naturally it happened. My mom, he was almost like our first, anything when my husband is there, Rotimi, Vaughan, this is what the children are doing, like an elder in our house, because my younger brothers, they're actually younger than me. So yeah.
How are you able to relate with your in-laws?
It was easy, I think, because my mother-in-law, she travels a lot, Germany, London, America, like she traveled yesterday. Okay. She understand, this, she did not really expect me to be like a Yoruba, whereby I'll be kneeling down, doing all the, the way they are doing their things. They came for our wedding. Unfortunately, they got after the day after we got married with my brother-in-law. So it was easy. Not really easy, but we still have to impress.
Whose decision was it for you both to reside in Nigeria? Yours or his?
I think both. South Africa has its own things, to be honest. I think he can explain that.
Leaving the country was not something that I had really planned when I left initially. So it was not something that was thought out. It was more an impromptu decision to leave the country. To those that are very close to me, they know my heart is on the continent and in the country. So I'd always known that I would come back. That was one. Then there's the pull factor, there's the push factor. The pull factor was that my heart was home. The push factor from that side was also due to some economic circumstances, So she had not been to Nigeria, before. And I remember, in the course of the time that we were living there, I used to have friends that come over. And whenever they came, we would host them, not real hosting, just have them around and she would do what a wife would do, And I used to warn her then, or, just bring it to her attention that these people we are hosting, don't worry, they are going to revenge. So on one occasion, she had to come to Nigeria.
Revenge in a good way.
Yeah, well, that's why I said revenge. So on one occasion, the first time she came to Nigeria, it was shortly after Ebola, when Ebola was receding, and she had to come to Nigeria. And my friends got to know that she was around. The ones that she had hosted, and even the ones she did not, she had never met before.
That's all.
that she had never met before, and he heard that she was in Nigeria. Vaughan's wife. And they came to visit her, they took her around, and the Nigerian hospitality thing with, our wife. And by the time she came back, she only had good. In fact, when she was in Nigeria, this is a story I will not forget. When she was in Nigeria, she would call me at night. I tell her, I want to sleep. She'll say, I want to talk. And I want to sleep. She says, they will buy her credit on the phone. She has so much credit on the phone that she didn't know who to talk to. Like, I'm the only one she wants to talk to. She said, I want to talk. And that's how much she enjoyed it. So when she came back and said, look, Nigeria is okay, although we're doing this, but Nigeria is not. I said, I know that, and so that was at the back of my mind there still. And 2018, 2017, it was 2017 that I decided that it's time to go home. It's time to come. We planned that for a year, started sending our stuff, back home.
I think what I liked about the whole thing then, it's not like he was like, D, can you go to Nigeria? He did not ask me like that, He took me already like somebody that I can live here, like, D, we are going home. We are going to Nigeria. And,
How do you celebrate milestones in your family? Like birthdays, anniversaries, Valentine. How do you guys celebrate those things?
First and first, to be honest, when it's your birthday, already as a person, you feel special. Yeah. And you also make you feel special, that day. Like, it was my birthday, of course, last week. So we'll go out, eat whatever you want to eat. It's just amazing, just, having another year. Yeah.
What's your love language? Of course you love him, but you need to practically show it. How do you do that?
This is very difficult, honestly. I don't know. The fact that he knows that I love him, actions, each and every day you see that thing, we are growing together, we talk a lot, almost like every day in the morning. Even if he comes back from anywhere, we might not talk that night, but every day in the morning, yesterday what happened, we have a very good communication. So